Welcome to Face, the program
that frontally discusses
political and social issues in Nigeria. The weekly program brought to you on Wednesday by 6 p.m. Nigerian time, anchored by Prince Ewemade Concourse, powered by GCSDN.
Join us.
Good evening to all our wonderful viewers all over the world, and welcome to today's edition of Face to Face program. This is the program where we discuss about political and social issues that is affecting our great nation, Nigeria. Today's topic is: does the Nigerian judiciary have a future, considering all the cases and issues that has been going on in Nigeria? Can the Nigerian judiciary sustain its relevancies in the face of widespread disillusionment among Nigerians who view them as obstructing their ways of life and engaging in corrupt practices by selling judgment to the highest bidders? Regrettably, our judiciary reputation has been tarnished, making it a subject of ridicule in the eyes of the international communities. Yes, the judiciary was supposed to be seen as the last hope of the common man. Today, as we speak, the common man does not have faith in the so-called judiciary. The reason is that if you look at all the cases that has been going on, especially from the appeal tribunal or the appeals court to the Supreme Court, which is supposed to be a place where you go and seek for justice, you will be heard, whether you are rich, poor, or whether you are rich or poor, whether you are the Igbo, Yoruba, Shekiri, whatever tribe you are, it doesn't really matter, because the justice to us is blind. They are blind to everyone. They don't see anybody. They're supposed to see the justice. That's why they are there as the justice of the Supreme Court, or justice, or the justice of the appeal court, or whatever. Before we go ahead, I'm going to play a video clip so we can understand where this topic is going to, and we can also have a clear understanding while watching this program on what is at stake in our great nation, Nigeria. First, I'm going to start with the judiciary under review, where you will list. I want you to listen by yourself so you can hear exactly what's going on before I continue on my analysis.
Now, for many Nigerians, the year 2022 was filled with drama, surprises, and controversies, and the judiciary had more than its fair share of the three. The unprecedented resignation of the then Chief Justice of Nigeria.
I think we have a network. That's probably network from their side. Let's see.
To the controversial formation of a parallel law association to the Nigerian Bar Association, there are questions about how the third arm of government demonstrated its resilience and importance to the sustainability of Nigeria's socio-economic and socio-political well-being. In this next report, our judiciary correspondent, Shalashi Ali, examines the sector in the past year.
It started like a rumor in the early hours of June the 27th, 2022. By noon, there was official confirmation that 68-year-old Justice Tanko Mohammed had resigned on grounds of ill health as the Chief Justice of Nigeria. By evening of the same day, a new acting CJN, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, had been sworn in by President Muhammadu Buhari. It was unprecedented in the nation's history, as Justice Mohammed's resignation came about 18 months before his retirement. in December 2023 when he would have clocked 70. Although everything happened in quick succession, 7 days earlier on June 20, in what many Nigerians described as the first of its kind in the 58-year history of the Apex Court, 14 Supreme Court justices had written a protest letter to the former CJN over their welfare and the operational challenges that had almost crippled efficient adjudication of cases in the courts.
Somehow the judiciary gets forgotten as the third and equal arm of government. So you find the executives appropriate things to themselves. The legislature, I mean, you can't compare a judge of the Supreme Court to a senator in terms of emoluments.
The next most senior judge, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, who initially took over in an acting capacity, has since been confirmed as substantive CJN. But the problem of the depletion in number of the Supreme Court justices still persists. In 2022, Justice Ejembi Eko, Justice Mary Peter Odili, and Justice Abdul Aboki all retired from the Apex Court, and with their exits, the number of justices at that court dropped to 12, as against the maximum constitutional requirement of 21.
Only 12 of us are there now. 12 are functional. One of us is seriously indisposed. For a couple of months now. An attempt to bring in more justices, there's no fund, there's no money.
The issue of better funding for the judiciary no doubt loomed large in the year 2020. And even though in February, a 7-member panel of the Supreme Court justices in a split decision of 6 justices to 1 nullified the executive order number 10 on the ground that the president overstepped the limits of his constitutional
Yes, see the video clip you just watched. There's 3 takeaways here that I'm going to talk about, or speak about on this program today. One, the early exit of the previous Supreme Court Justice Alhaji Tanko, who we all know that, according to information out there, that he was involved in very huge corruption cases with his son and all that. The man was supposed to retire at the age of 70, but he retired 18 months earlier. He was forced out because of corruption. Then the new justice was also the interim justice was brought in, and at the end of the day, it was for confirmed. You can also hear directly from him that the Supreme Court lack funding. That the Supreme Court, the senators receive more emolument than the Supreme Court justice, which is very sad. So that takes me to the next question, the next discussion here today, that if they lack funding, they are vulnerable to corruption. If they lack funding to function or to carry out their duty or discharge their duty according to the Constitution of Nigeria, they are vulnerable to corruption. That is why you see the highest bidder always win at the Supreme Court, because there's no money. They don't have money to function, to do their duty diligently. Yes, we still have some good justice out there who have conscience, who would rather go with the people that go with the money or go with the highest bidder. But because of the situation they find themselves, they are vulnerable to these so-called money-back politicians, these crooks, who want to offer them huge amount of money, who want to offer them whatever they can. Probably they've not worked all their 35 years or 35 years of being in the service. It is easy. It is a simple logic or simple mathematics. A man has been in bench for, let's say, 20 years, and he doesn't have a savings of a 1 billion naira in his account, or he doesn't have the equivalent of 1 million US dollar in his Dubai foreign account. And a politician who is so desperate, like what we've seen in the past, offering them 1 million US dollars in a foreign account with a house in choice or any location of his choice, in order for them to pervert justice, in order to subvert justice, they will do it because they are vulnerable. So if that Nigeria as we speak today does not have faith in the judiciary system, because they believe if you go there, if you don't have enough money to pay your way through, you're not going to get justice. So that brings us to the topic of today. Does the Nigerian judiciary have a future? The answer is no. There's no future in the Nigerian judiciary. The only way the judiciary will be able to they'll be able to reform the judiciary, they need to be independent, completely independent, while also having enough fund to fund their way, in order for them to be able to render justice as at when due. So, my fellow Nigerians, this is it's a hard time for our great nation, Nigeria. It is a very hard time, I must say, because as we speak, I don't think it's possible for anyone to get justice in Nigeria. I will also show you a recent press statement from one of the PDP aspirant from the recent conducted election in Kogi State, who was of the belief that there was no need for him to approach the Supreme Court or to approach any of the court, because it lack faith in the judiciary system. Because as we stand today, perhaps he doesn't have the billions of naira to offer them in order for them to subvert justice in his own favor. Sad. It's very sad. Let me show you that, so you can also hear directly from the person directly who said it lacks. There's no point of going to. There's no point of him going to Supreme Court, going to approach.
There's nothing more powerful than you making your thing happen, doing business on your terms.
Thank you very much for every one of you, the print, the electronic, social media. Here, I'm here to address us once again in the course of our state history, Kogi State. And today I'll be discussing what I have christened or titled, Why I Will Not Go to Tribunal. That is the heading. And the subheading is INEC and Judiciary, the biggest threat to democracy in Nigeria. INEC and Judiciary, the biggest threat to democracy in Nigeria. Fellow pressmen, in all thriving democracies around the world, the election management body like INEC and the judiciary are its sustaining pillars. The constitutional duty of INEC is to conduct periodic, free, fair, and credible elections and declare the popular will of the people as expressed through the ballot, but at moments, election results are not written and prepared before election day. Sorry, I take that again. The constitutional duty of INEC is to conduct periodic, free, fair, and credible elections and declare popular will of the people as expressed through the ballot. But at the moment, election results are now written and prepared before election day under
Yes, you can hear directly from Delo Menaye. The judiciary is supposed to be the last line of defense for Nigerians, but today the case is completely different. I weep for my great nation, Nigeria, that if you don't have money to offer to the judiciary, the Supreme Justice, unfortunately you might not be able to achieve your goals. But if you have enough cash, yes, you can hit your chest and fight your case all the way to Supreme Court, where you will be able to pay them and get justice. Again, in all fairness to to our justice, they lack funding, so that make them vulnerable. I'm not holding sway for them, but I'm always saying, from all indication, when somebody is vulnerable, it's easy to compromise. So because they are vulnerable, their emolument is not even, the senators receive more emolument than the Supreme Court justice. So what do you expect? When the senator receive maybe millions of naira in emolument, the Supreme Court justice, they'll probably get maybe thousands of naira. So that makes them vulnerable. So when you have a case that goes to the Supreme Court, they will definitely offer it to the highest bidder. They'll sell it out and keep the money. They will say, after all, I'm not the first person to do it. Other people have done it before me. So why don't I just do my part and also move on? It's very unfortunately, my people, that this is Nigeria we find ourselves today. So unfortunately, the Nigerian judiciary does not have a future. The only way that we could save our country and save our judiciary is through revolution without ammunition. We need to take our country back. There's no two ways about this. This is not about being Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, or about it's my turn, it's my tribe, it's our time to rule, it's our time. So it should allow us to rule Nigeria until we finish our tenure. It is about Nigeria. There's nobody that is more Nigerian than Nigerian. We are all Nigerians, and we must fight collectively to ensure that we get a Nigeria of our dream. This is not what the founding father left behind for us. They'll be rolling in their grave, weeping to see the Nigeria that we have today, where the judiciary is now selling court cases to the highest bidder. It is very unfortunate. It is sad. It is pathetic. This is not what Nigerians must condole. So we all must rise up above party line, above our ethnicity, above our political affiliation, social affiliation, and unanimously take our country back from the hands of these kaka worms who have come to hitting the root and the foundation of our very nation. We cannot continue like this, my people. It is sad. I want you to look inward and think twice. This is not a country you want to pass on to your children. For those of you who have children in Nigeria, or those of you who were born in Nigeria or still live in Nigeria, it is not a country you want to hand over to the next generation. This is not the country we got from after independence. Nigeria was such a loving country that the whole world they are so envious of Nigeria that they want to come and grab whatever they can grab from Nigeria, because we are so blessed. In spite of all our blessing that God has endowed Nigeria with, look at where we find ourselves. A situation where Nigerians prefer to take the risk of going through the dungeon of hell, through the Mediterranean Sea, in order to get to where they think the grass is more greener, whereas the grass is more greener in our nation, Nigeria. So my fellow Nigerians and my fellow compatriots, I once again call on every Nigerians, every lovers of Nigeria. Let's shun the sentiment of my brother is in power, let's allow him to continue. No. We cannot continue like this. We must unanimously stand up and say, no, enough is enough. Let's take our country back. Through our voice, our writing, through whichever means that is possible. But it must never be violent. Thank you and God bless you. I'll see you again on my next program. Until then, remain blessed.